Hello guys, I am back with a new video of the Genesis chapter 2. In this video, we will study about the Genesis chapter 2. In Genesis chapter 2, it is written, "And so the whole universe was completed. By the seventh day, the God finished what he had done doing and stopped working. He blessed the seventh day and set it apart as a special day, because by that day he had completed his creation and stopped working, and that is how the universe was created." Friends, on the seventh day, after finishing all the work, the God rested, and he blessed the seventh day and kept that seventh day would be the most important day. In that day, no man will be working. Moving forward, here the God created a garden, the Garden of Eden. When the Lord God made the universe, there were no plants on the earth, and no seeds had sprouted, because he had not sent any rain. And there was no one to cultivate the land, but the water would come up from the breath and the surface and the water of the ground. Friends, after creating, when the God created all universe, after creating, there was no plants on the earth, because God has not even sent any rain still now. Then the Lord took some soil from the ground and formed a man. Out of it, he breathed life, giving breath into his nostrils, and the man began to live. Friends, in Genesis chapter 2 verses 7, it is written, "Then the Lord took some soil from the ground and formed a man out of it." Here the God is creating the man for living on this Garden of Eden. It is well defined. After we die, we all are buried in the soil, and our body is fully involved in the soil, and it is because it is made up of soil. But our soul goes to God, because it is written that God, he had breathed his life-giving breath into his nostrils, and man began to live. God gives breath to the man, means God gives the soul to the man. That is why the soul goes to God back. And moving forward, we read, "Then the Lord God planted the garden in Eden in the east, and there he put the man he had formed. He had made all kind of beautiful trees grow there and produce good fruits. In the middle of the garden stood the tree that gave life, the tree that gives knowledge of what is good and what is bad." Friends, in Genesis chapter 2 verses 9, we read, "He made all kind of beautiful trees grow there and produce good fruits." In the middle, the garden stood the tree that gives life and the tree that gives knowledge of what is good and what is bad. This tree which God made in between, in the center, he growed in the center of the Garden of Eden. This tree was the tree of knowledge, which gave the knowledge about good and bad. Moving forward, we read, "A stream followed in the Eden and watered the garden. Beyond the Eden, it divided into 4 rivers. The stream following in the Garden of Eden, after moving forward, that river divided into 4 rivers. The first river was Pison. It follows around the country of Alaiwa. Pure gold is found there, and also the rare perfume of the precious stones. The second river is Gagan. It follows around the country of Kush. The third river is Tigris, which follows east of the Arisa. And the fourth river is Euphrates. Then the Lord God placed the man in the garden of Eden, cultivated it and guarded it. He said to him, "You may eat the fruit of any tree in the garden, except the tree that gives the knowledge of what is good and what is bad. You must not eat the fruit of the tree that you do. If you do, you will die at the same day." Here the God is giving the instruction to the human, instruction to the Adam, that if you will eat the fruit of the tree which is grown in the middle of the garden, the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, if you eat the fruit of that tree, you will die at the same day. Then the Lord God said, "It is not good for man to live alone. I will make the suitable companion to help him." Means God is still worried about the man, that if I will leave the man living alone or living alone on this garden, then he will be not happy. So he took some soil from the ground and he formed all animals and all birds. Then he brought them to the men to see and to keep their name. And that is how they all got their names. So the man named the birds and all animals, but not one of them was suitable companion for him. Then the Lord God made the man fall into a deep sleep. Still the God saw that the man is not happy in the companion which I gave him. So the Lord God made the man to fall into a deep sleep. Moving forward, we read, while he was sleeping, he took out one of man's rib and closed up the flesh. He formed the woman out of the man's rib and brought her to him. The God created the woman from the rib of the man. Means the creation which God created, the creation of woman and the man is the most of the husband and wife which God created, that love and care is still alive in the human beings. This creation of most closement was made by the God earlier. Then the man said, "At last, here is one of my own kind, bone taken from my bone and flesh from my flesh. Woman is her name because she is taken out of man." Guys, here the man means the Adam is giving the name to Eve. Adam is saying her name would be woman because she is taken from my bone and from my own flesh. She is made from my bone and from my own flesh. That is why the man leaves his father and mother and is united with his wife, and they become one. When the God created this, is that time only God created the wife and the husband close. From that time only wife would be leaving her mother, father, and she would be going to the husband, and they would be one living together. They would be one bone, one body in the Christ. The men and the women were both naked, but they do not embrace. They were not ashamed at all, because they do not know what